This is a small part of what used to be called Milltown. There used to be 5 mills in this area. Tremain's is the only one left with its silos, and certainly the only one left with any operating grain handling equipment. It's an important industrial piece of industrial architecture, the last remaining type of its kind, and we think it's worthy of preservation. There were people who knew much more about this mill site than we did, and they were people who were involved in the Save Our Silos, people in the historical and the heritage groups in town. I thought it practical and prudent to get together with these people and talk to them, and first of all allay their fears that we weren't going to bulldoze the place. That was really important. And secondly, to say, you know, we would like to preserve the streetscape of these buildings because we feel that they're very important. The objective for the overall project is that we have a mixture of commercial, residential and art spaces, community spaces, that surround a square. We'll call it an Italian piazza or a little town square in Provence. We've engaged a group of young architects, and I particularly looked for young architects because I want new ideas. My wife and I, Glenda, went to Tasmania to look at a bunch of mills, and we also went to look at the Henry James Art Hotel. We just looked at that building and thought that's exactly what we want to do. Robert Morris Nunn, the architect from the Henry Jones, will be working with our young architects and coming up with what I hope are some brilliant ideas. My background is mechanical, and I'm super impressed with looking at some of this early machinery that has a simple function to perform, but the way it's built, the way it operates is just brilliant. It's simplicity at its best. I was also impressed with the way that they built these Oregon silos. There's that much timber in those silos that they're probably worth more than the real estate they're sitting on. My wife and I were in San Francisco, and just by coincidence we visited the Maritime Museum, and whilst we were there was a 3-masted clipper called the Balclutha. We went on board and visited it, and we went downstairs, and the hold was full of Oregon timbers and American oak. And when we then sat down and watched the video, we learnt that there were 3-masted clippers that used to do the run from San Francisco to Sydney, bringing timber, which was just ballast for them coming out of San Francisco, bringing it to Sydney and selling it to the mines and the mills. So we're fortunate that we have access to the Tremain archives, and I think I'll actually be able to track down the ship and the date that it sailed from San Francisco. So it's those little things that tend to get you in. All the stories that must be there that we have yet to uncover, but we will. They're the sort of things that actually take you away and really take you away from what you're trying to achieve. You've got to be careful that you don't get too obsessed. Probably too late.